All right. Y'all are live on YouTube.
All righty. Thank you, Jack. Welcome, everybody. It is that this week? No, shoot.
Today the 23rd.
It's Friday, May 23rd, and this is the House Energy and Digital Infrastructure Committee. I'm Rep. Kathleen James from Manchester.
Richard Bailey, Lamoille 2.
Chris Morrow, Wyndham, Windsor, Bennington.
Michael Southworth, Caledonia 2.
Christopher Howland, Rutland 4.
Dara Torrey, Washington 2.
Graham Clutner, Chittenden 13, Burlington.
Laura Smiley, Wyndham 2.
This is Scott Campbell, representative from St. Johnsbury.
All right. And as far as we know, this is our last committee meeting of this year. And we are here to quickly take a straw poll and have any committee discussion on a proposed amendment to H319. That's a miscellaneous environmental bill that is, I think, up for second reading on the Senate floor today. And we've been asked to take testimony on and take a straw poll on a provision, sections 33 through 35 that were added on the Senate side that would provide the Rygate Power Plant with a 1-year extension on the requirement that it upgrade its efficiency by 50%. Did I get all that right? I think I did. So is there any committee discussion?
Yes. Where's the bill?
It's up for second reading on the Senate floor today. Yep. So, right. So I'm not sure what that means for timing for us, but if it makes it through the Senate, it will go on to the notice calendar.
Madam Chair, I have another question.
For
Rygate, if I may.
Yeah, onto the House notice calendar, I meant for next week.
Yes, if I may.
You have a
Rygate.
question for
Representative.
Rygate?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
For the
Okay.
representative. If 319 does not make its way to us, can you just explain what will be occurring for Rygate just until we meet again in January?
So if this language is not included, is that,
Yeah.
Right.
that's, well,
I'm sorry.
that's a great, right, Matt McMahon with MMR. That is a great question. It puts them in a really difficult position because they're not able to procure the equipment, having to do with the plan that's already been submitted. So it puts in peril the power purchase agreement, which the next deadline, which is the October deadline for the submission of the construction plan. If that deadline is not met, the power purchase agreement goes away and it ceases to operate on a 24/7 basis.
Matt, I knew that the power purchase agreement would go away.
Yes.
Can you remind us how or explain why they can't get the equipment if 319 doesn't?
Yes. So the
Is
current
their
plan-
equipment contingent on getting the extension?
So good question. So as currently proposed, the plan that they had submitted with the Department of Public Service calls for Spanish and Swiss equipment.
Right.
The issue with procuring that was, first, it's made in Europe, tariffs. Second, it was financed through European banks, which are not extending loans to companies like in America. So the need for the pushback of the dates is to resubmit plans with domestic equipment
That's right.
that we can procure in America to complete the efficiency project. It's a little bit, the project is a little bit different, as you've heard.
Right.
But the big key there is we'd be getting the equipment from within the US.
So they'll run out of time on resubmitting the plan.
Well, the deadline for resubmitting the plan, we're dealing with a different deadline in October. The deadline for submitting the plan was in 2023. So the idea is to change that deadline to
Right.
October, and then all the other dates are out 1 year. So
Right.
engineering and so on and so forth can happen in a timely fashion.
And the financing would be, are they self-financing or are they domestic financing?
So Mizzen, I'm sure has a hand in, Liddy's firm has a hand in financing that. They would not be working with a European bank. That's I don't know exactly who they're financing with, but it's that won't be the hang up.
Right.
Rep. Southworth?
And they have already identified
equipment here in the US that is available for them.
Yes, my understanding is they've identified two pieces of drying equipment that are basically new old stock. So they were purchased by another plant and were installed. And so they're trying to.
That was that.
Right.
They bought 3 and used 2 or
Yeah.
something, so they have one sitting around in the box.
Another company does, and they're.
Yeah.
Hear that.
In the box, yeah.
I will not.
Uh-huh.
And I just want to make sure I'm clear. Ceasing operations would be when? If the legislature fails to act.
So I know that you can expect that they would do everything humanly possible to continue to operate.
Mhm.
But when the power purchase agreement goes away,
Which is in 30, right?
I'm sorry.
It's in 30.
Well, the PPA ends in 2032.
Mhm.
But if you fail to meet a deadline in October,
Right.
November 1st, I believe, the power purchase agreement stops.
Got it. Thank you.
But then they have to go off the market, all that,
Correct.
sell their product.
Correct. As a merchant.
Victoria.
Thanks for that. Could you remind me how many employees you have?
So about 20 employees and $2 million in payroll is the last number I heard. So they're good jobs.
So if you believe the plan should continue, then I really want to make sure our senator
We would.
moving 319 along.
Yes, we're working toward that, and we greatly appreciate your support.
Great.
I'll check in with Ann again. I talked to her yesterday. Rep Howland?
And am I correct that a power plant like this has a lengthy startup and shutdown period? It's not like a fuel
Pico plant?
what they call a gas turbine. It's not a. It can't open and can't ramp up and ramp down like a peaker plant, and maybe not even close to it. It needs to run when it's on. It needs to run for a lengthy period in order to keep its efficiencies up and meet other criteria.
Representative Howland, as an engineer yourself, you're probably on the right track there. I think when there is downtime, it's planned well in advance for that exact reason. There, a couple times a year, there is some downtime for maintenance, as you know, but yeah, these things are designed to be on.
And it has it runs quoted in the 92% range of time, which is a really good,
In terms of output,
in terms of times of operation during the year.
uptime.
It's called capacity, and if it's less than 85 is the minimum that they used to refer to. So it's a well-run plant,
Thank you.
in my opinion. Excuse me. Thank you.
An informed opinion. All right. Super. All right. Well, I think, are we ready to take a straw poll? Great. All right. So all in favor? Great. Thanks, everybody. So let's keep track of 319 and keep our fingers crossed over there. If you guys have senators you need to reach out to.
So is there other stuff? What else
Yeah.
in the bill that might interfere with this?
Well,
Or just
the
what
salt
the
else?
salt stuff.
Oh, salt.
Which I think is popular. I mean, there was a little change to it, but
But and I saw Senator Watson in the hallway, like in passing, and she said there was an amendment, and I don't know what it was about. And I haven't looked on the calendar yet, so.
But just those two things, salt and.
no,
Right.
No,
no,
it's a
it's a miscellaneous.
68-page miscellaneous
So that
bill. Those are the two things that,
I just noticed the salt because it was it's the section right before ours. I was like, oh.
right, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the bill that I think both the Environment Committee spent a lot of time working on that aren't getting any attention. So if it goes down, more goes down than Reigate, I think. So, all right, Jack, it's
So who are the senators on? It's in environment now? Or
on the floor
It's on the floor.
today
For a second reading.
for second reading.
another question.
And I've done no further research than that. I haven't looked at the calendar,
458.
458, yep, they were gonna hear, Senator Harrison wanted to take testimony from, Secretary Riley Hughes before they voted, and they had to cancel that hearing and that testimony yesterday because of the education bill. So I told Senator Harrison I would find her today, and see what the plan is, but I've talked to her many times and encouraged her to please just concur with us and get the bill voted out so we don't run out of time.
Did we?
So I will do that again.
Did we receive language from Secretary Riley Hughes on the data?
No, she said, I think we all saw the email. She said she needed more time. They weren't sure. And then she was going to come in and testify. And that now that got canceled. So that is in limbo. So I don't know, I'm certainly happy to reach out to her again and see where we are with that. But either way, at this point, it won't be added to the bill. It'll be something we receive from her to work on over the summer and be ready to act on in January, maybe.
Very disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. All righty, Jack, I think we can go off live and